Hello everybody, welcome to the first video on this channel. Today I'll be talking about the Arctic Monkeys. This is one of my favorite bands. I love talking about them. I love ranking all things Arctic Monkeys. Big fan of 5 out of 6 of their albums. I wasn't the biggest Suck It and See fan. I guess I'm kind of on the fence of AM. I do really like it, but it's not my favorite compared to the rest of the albums, but I definitely really like a lot of their discography. And there's a lot of songs by them I like. Coming down to 10 was really difficult. I had to cut a few, so some honorable mentions: Crying Lightning, American Sports, Fake Tales of San Francisco, From the Ritz to the Rubble, Pretty Visitors. Those are the ones that just come to the top of my head right now. Definitely some really good songs listed there. But it was tough to make it 10 songs, but I think I did the 10 songs that really just stand out to me the most, the 10 that I think are the most memorable. And this might be a controversial list. Some people might disagree with this a lot. There'll be some songs that might place higher than you'd expect, some that'll place lower than you expect, some songs that you expect to be on here that won't, some songs that you would never think would be on here actually might end up ranking on here, and actually fairly high for maybe a few of them. But let's get started with the list.
Take it easy for a little while, come and stay with us. It's such an easy flight, to new places keep on popping up around Clavius. It's all getting gentrified.
Coming in at number 10, we have 4 out of 5. This is a song I've listened to probably more than any other song in the past year. I listened to it so much and so frequently. And it's kind of the song that got me back into the Arctic Monkeys, actually. I heard this song from the new album, and the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, that's an interesting direction. And after about my third time, I was absolutely hooked. I love everything about this song. I love the structure of it. I like the two distinct halves to it. I really like that. I like the chorus in the first half a lot. It's very catchy. It's really iconic already. It's definitely one of the more iconic choruses in any Arctic Monkeys song, especially considering how new it is. It's definitely very recognizable. The whole thing's very catchy. I like the David Bowie-esque feel to it. That's something that's really nice. I really like it how it's about a taqueria on the moon, on the roof of a hotel and casino on the moon, actually. I think that's kind of a cool story. Like a lot of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, it tells an interesting, bizarre, and odd story, but it actually pertains to our society, and it talks about critics and how they'll never give anything a perfect 5 out of 5. I think it's a great song. I think it's one that everyone, including fans of AM or fans of the old school, will love. People that don't like Tranquility Base that much still love 4 out of 5 because it's a sound that all the fans love, but it's mixed in with the new Tranquility Base feel, as well as a David Bowie-inspired sound, and that's definitely why I really like 4 out of 5. So it's coming in at number 10, and it's actually with a heavy heart to only place it there, but there's just so many great songs, and so many that just miss that are about as good. It's really hard to rank some songs that you truly love, and this is definitely one of those. It's with a heavy heart that I rank this one this low. There's really no reason why this isn't number 1 on here. It's just I prefer 8 songs to it. This is most Arctic Monkeys fans' number 1. You see it as number 1 on a lot of lists. It's the classic. It's sort of one of their first major hits, and it's a song that really got the critics on board with this band. It's just a song that really has everything you'd ever want. It's got a great kind of storyline. The lyrics are awesome. The instrumentals are really good. I love the change of mood from the intro and then going into that nice little beautiful little guitar tone there. That just, it's so awesome. I think that this song is just absolutely a fantastic song. It's really beautiful. It actually kind of gets you a little emotional sometimes. I love the chorus. It's just a classic, and that's one thing about this song. There's really nothing that isn't perfect about this song. It's just, at the end of the day, kind of a song that I just think that there's maybe 8 ahead of it, and that's about it. This song is the definition of a classic. This is one of the Arctic Monkeys' most iconic songs of all time, and I definitely see why. It's very popular among the fan base. It's also just a very recognizable song. You go to a concert and everyone knows it, whether it be the AM fans, the Tranquility Base fans, or the fans all the way back to the debut. I think that so many people love this song. It was actually at the Olympics, the London Olympics in 2012. The Arctic Monkeys performed that, and it was really awesome. It was actually a fantastic performance. And it's just such a memorable, such a really, really, really awesome song for sure. I really like the solo to open it up. That guitar solo is awesome. That down, now, 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 now. I love that. I love the lyrics, actually. Some of them are pretty underrated. Like, a lot of people talk about how this isn't lyrically the best song on the album, but I think it's got some really good lyrics. Like, Your Name Isn't Rio is really iconic, and I love that. I just love the pace of this. I just love the structure. I love the way it's formatted. I just think that this is just a fantastic song. And there's actually one point, I think like most Arctic Monkeys fans actually, but this was my number one song by the band, but it's since slid down a few spots just because there's so many good songs by the Arctic Monkeys. Alright, coming in at number 7 is a really fantastic cut-off favorite, Worst Nightmare. This is a song that took me a little while to get into, actually. At first I wasn't a big fan, but it really grew on me and actually became one of my top songs by the band of all time. It's seriously awesome. The riff is fantastic. I love the riff. I love the lyrics. I love it how it's kind of the story and kind of discussing, Alex Turner and the rest of the band's newfound fame and the trials and tribulations with that. I find the lyrics to be pretty awesome and nonsensical at times, but I also think that it's just a really great song. I really like the ending of it. The final line I think is just killer. I think it's a fantastic way, just kind of a quick little roast in there just to finish off such a fantastic song. This song's a powerhouse. It's a song I didn't get to hear live, which is unfortunate. I would have loved to have heard this live, but the thing just rocks out. It's seriously an awesome song. Great to walk around to. That's one thing I love about it. It just really bleeds energy, and that's something that I love about Teddy Picker. Such an iconic song, too. It's one that the fan base has always loved and is always ranked highly, and I'm going to continue that trend by ranking it on this top 10 countdown of my favorite Arctic Monkeys songs.
But I crumble completely when you cry. It seems like once again you're about to bring me goodbye. I'm always just about to go and spoil the surprise.
Alright, so nabbing that number 6 spot, we have 505. This song is iconic among the Arctic Monkeys discography. It's truly an incredible and beautiful song. I see this ranked really high on a lot of lists, and I'm going to concur with that. I think this song's great. I really love the build-up into that ending, that "But I crumble completely when you cry." It's just such an emotional moment. There's so much stress and tension. It's just a release of that. It's just really nice. And the song was relatable, having been in a long-distance relationship myself, having to deal with that and the struggles of that. This song kind of details that. And I just find this song to generally be a fantastic song to listen to. It's really emotional. You can hear it in Alex Turner's voice. And it's just a level of maturity and just an overall feel that I think they hadn't really went for before. It was such a mature and beautiful song, and it's one that's always stood out as an iconic one among the band's discography. So definitely going to put this song at number 6. 505 definitely deserves it.
Just as the apocalypse finally gets prioritized, and you cry some of the hottest tears you ever cried, multiplied by 5.
Coming in at number 5, we have 1 Point Perspective. I've heard some people actually call this Alex Turner's finest work, and I can totally understand that. This is a song off of Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, which isn't the most popular album among fans. However, it's definitely growing on a lot of them. And personally, when I first heard this was definitely one of my favorite albums by the band. I was hooked immediately. And this song is just such a great song. First of all, I love the way it bleeds into American Sports, which I think was a very, very underrated song. One of the most underrated cuts off any Arctic Monkeys album. But anyway, 1 Point Perspective, it's got an amazing bass line. Let's start off with that. I love the little piano licks in there. The lyrics are fantastic. They're just really nice, really interesting. Love some lines like talking about Mr. Winter Wonderland, the dancing in my underpants, I'm gonna run for government. And there's just some absolutely phenomenal moments on here. The falsettos are some of Alex Turner's best, if not his very best. That's probably the best moment when he goes into that sheer falsetto. I also really like that listening to the score. I really like the way he holds that note. It's just such a really beautiful song and just such an amazing cut off of Tranquility Base, and one that I don't think is getting the love and attention it deserves. Even though it's still getting a fair bit, it's definitely a very fantastic song, and definitely one that if you didn't give it a solid chance on your first listen, you should definitely listen again because it's worthy of so much of the praise that I've given it and that some others have.
She swallows up tonight's phantasm, grabs my hand and made it very clear there's absolutely nothing for us here.
If you ask people in the Arctic Monkeys fan base which songs they view as underrated, I think this is one of the ones that would come to mind. Humbug is a very underrated album, actually, not just among their Arctic Monkeys discography, but all time. I think there's some songs that really get overlooked, and this is actually not the last of those I'll be talking about. So spoiler alert for another entry on this list, but The Secret Door is just such a really beautiful and just a song that for some reason really resonated with me for basically no reason. It kind of made me feel nostalgic for something that never happened. And I know people use that to describe a lot of songs, but this is definitely one of those songs that did that for me. I really like the lyrics. I really like the vocals in this. I think Alex Turner does a great job with the vocals. This is a very bizarre song from Humbug. It's one of the weirdest songs I think the Arctic Monkeys ever did in terms of the fact that the lyrics are kind of strange, the structure's kind of strange. I like the change in mood that happens several times throughout this and just the change in feel. It's just a really interesting and bizarre song. It took a little bit to grow on me. It wasn't actually on this top 10 list when I started, coming up with the list and thinking about ideas of what I was going to say, but somehow, I guess, maybe driving around listening to Humbug, it made the list, and not only that, it made the top 5, but it's definitely not going to move down because this song is absolutely fantastic and is a truly legendary song, and is one of the best that the Arctic Monkeys have ever released. Taking that number 3 spot, we have Do Me a Favor off of Favorite Worst Nightmare. This song is one of the most emotional songs the Arctic Monkeys have ever had. It's a song that I think speaks to everyone, really. Everyone who's been through a breakup, or everyone who's been through rejection, really. Just the way that it builds up to that dramatic and epic closer where it just explodes with sound. You really feel your heartstrings being tugged at. One of my favorite parts of the song is when he says curiosity becomes a heavy load, because it just really resonates, just the performance of that line, especially live, just building up the tension, building up to that dramatic release, and it ends with some of the best lines that I think Alex Turner has ever written, some of the most meaningful, some of the most resonating with me lines that he's ever came up with, and it's really incredible. The whole song is just awesome, a really nice bass line. Really like the intro. The drumming in this song is underrated. In general, I think this is one of the most emotional songs lyrically, and it just really gets you in the feels every time you listen to it. It's an amazing cut, definitely one of their best tracks. Loved hearing it live. Hearing it live boosted it up for me, and just, having been through a lot of stuff, a lot of situations that this song's reminded me of, it's nice to feel that someone else has been through this, and it's nice to feel that there's a song that perfectly encapsulates the emotions that you feel when going through situations like a breakup or rejection or anything of that sort. This song is incredible. It is a serious fight between this song and my number 1 for the number 1 spot. It really was. This song is just so good. Driving around to this is incredible. It's just such an emotional song. It's another beautiful song they had, singing about lies and deceit. And I think the Arctic Monkeys are amazing at writing about that. They're amazing about writing about heartbreak and tragedy and the flaws with people and relationships. And this is another song, just like Do Me a Favor, that just perfectly encapsulates that. And I just love everything about it. I love the lyrics to this song. I love Alex Turner's vocal performance. I love the bass in this. Some of the best bass I think Nick O'Malley's given. It's just absolutely incredible. I wish they played the song live. I view it as underrated, but only to a certain extent, because if you were to ask any Arctic Monkeys fan what the most underrated Arctic Monkeys song is, this will definitely be one of the top ones. It's always considered underrated and a deep cut where so many people recommend it that it's not really underrated anymore. In fact, like it placed top 5 on a Watch Mojo list and, placed high on ARTV's list of Arctic Monkeys songs, but it definitely deserves all the praise it gets because this is, in my opinion, their second best song. Everything about this, and then leading up to that solo, which is just, you can just feel the raw emotion of that solo. You don't hear a lot of solos from the Arctic Monkeys, and it was just such a powerful solo that really just summarized the song, and it was awesome how it went to that solo kind of unexpectedly, knowing that Arctic Monkey songs can go anywhere at any time, and I really felt that, and that's something that I really liked about this song. So yeah, so overall, Dance Little Liar is going to come in at number 2 for me.
What do you mean you've never seen Blade Runner? Or maybe I was a little too wild in the 70s. Back down to where my land sing and shimmer.
Anybody that knows me at all could have seen this coming. I'm obsessed with Star Treatment. Honestly, ever since I first heard it, I knew it was one of my favorite Arctic Monkeys songs. And after listening to it so many times, more than pretty much any other song over the past year, it's become one of my all-time favorite songs. This song, Star Treatment, is absolutely incredible. So many great memories of the past year, like my first drive, getting my full license. That was the first song I listened to. I brought the CD with me. And just so many moments in my life just this past year, I've listened to this song during, and it just reminds me of all that. The good, the bad, the highs and the lows. Truly incredible. Now on to why I like this track so much. Lyrically, it's some of Alex Turner's finest work. It's among his very finest. There's so many amazing lines in here, pop culture references to Blade Runner. Just some amazing lines like, don't you know an apparition is a cheap date, back down to earth with a lounge singer shimmer, miles away from any half-useful imaginary highway. Talking about Monogram Suitcase, 1984-2019, The Martini Police. So many awesome references, and it just is so epic yet so relaxed, and that's what makes it beautiful. And it just keeps getting better and better as the song goes on, and you can even feel a little emotion as he sings the part and as we gaze skyward. At least it's done it for me. It's awesome how it tells the story of a former rock star now working as a lounge singer at the hotel, and reminiscing about past relationships, past experiences in his life, and his current lifestyle now. I really like that. I think it's absolutely a beautiful story told by Alex Turner. It really shows the maturity in his writing. And it's just a very Alex Turner song. It tells a mature story with a great, sort of theme to it, but also has some goofy pop culture references, some just random lines, and it's just absolutely incredible. Instrumentally, it's great. It's really tight. Love the little piano. I just love everything about this track. I could go on and on about why it's my favorite Arctic Monkeys song by a margin, but it's just absolutely beautiful, outstanding track. In my opinion, their best work ever. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are below. Let me know what your top Arctic Monkeys songs are, and I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye, everybody.